Good morning, fellow hinkers. Yesterday I couldn't finish my vlog because two things happened. Firstly, my battery ran out. I dropped my charger somewhere in the Amazon forest, and I dropped my sunglasses as well. So I had to cut it very abruptly. Today I'm going for a canoeing in the Amazon River with Aram Saab. So got my rain jacket, gonna have a quick breakfast, and then we get off to a canoe. Sailing in the Amazon forest, it's something that I've been looking forward to. I miss my glasses because get a glare in my eyes, and that's why I always wear sunglasses. So if you see in one of the other videos from Amazon a sloth or Amazon monkey wearing a sunglasses, the Ray-Ban glasses, you know who they belong to. Let's have a quick breakfast and then we continue. That's our guide, Mr. Lian, giving us a crash course on...
Wow, it sting very bad. So I heard it's worse than a wasp even.
The most painful insect in the world.
Bullet ant, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
I came from a tribe. I'm from a tribe.
Okay.
And we went, since from a child, we do different tests.
Yeah. So one of them is put your hands
like
inside
your
that.
hands in the
Yes, I know.
honeybee nest and things like that. But the bullet ant,
It's the worst. What is it? The bite itself, or do they release the venom?
The bullet ant stings.
Oh, it stings. It's not even a bite.
Like wasp. It bites and stings. The venom go inside you.
And then what type of venom is that? Neurotoxin, hemotoxin?
Well, I can't really say because it's pain, I tell you.
Oh, but it's just excruciating.
24 hours.
24 hours.
That's why you say bullet ant, because it's like
Sounds
a
like a bullet.
in your body.
Even one of them when they...
Only one, just one.
But, and they're like this big, right? Yeah, like this big.
I hope we can see one.
You're supposed to do it on the jungle hike.
Yeah, we did the jungle hike. We didn't see any bullet ants. We saw the normal small ants. I put my hand on them. Those small ones, I think.
That's the success for this.
Yeah, that's a small one. That was nothing. It was fine. But bullet ant, I stay away.
Let's go. All right. So we can river.
Rain. Nah, it's coming. You can see the dog.
We seem to be going into a little tributary of the Amazon. Sure.
Count the brain. Watch out the brain, sir.
Hi, so as I sit in this canoe, paddling through one of the tributaries of the river, I must tell you something, about Amazon River.
Me? So we are now in the creek.
We're in the creek,
There's a creek.
yeah?
And now it's like in the dry season.
Yeah?
Since the rain started to rain, it's already rise like 3 meters.
Oh, 3 meters.
We still have like 10 meters more to go.
Oh, okay.
So when the river dry, when it's flood all the way up there like that, this tree's underwater.
The trees are underwater.
This little tree. And then we can canoe. When the water is flood like that, we canoe through the flooding forest.
I see, I see.
But we will see how we can go with this amount of water.
Okay. This is peace at its best. You know, these trees that we see around us give us 20% of the world oxygen. So of the 8 billion people that live on this planet Earth, 1/5 of the oxygen that we all breathe comes from these trees. And they also absorb 30% of all the carbon dioxide. What a service they give us, this forest, the people, like the gentleman who's canoeing for me, the indigenous tribes of Amazon.
Boa tarde. Já pegou a janta?
There were talks of a while ago about deforestation and putting in farms or whatever, but there was fierce resistance. You know, people in Brazil and any other part of where the Amazon forest is were not happy with that. Should leave Amazon the way it is. It's a millions and millions of year old forest, as I said, 5.5 million square kilometer. 20% of the all fresh water comes from this varied water. 20% of the world oxygen comes from here. 30% of the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, that we exhale, is absorbed by these trees. You know, on the first day that my guide, I told you about, his name was Jose, he said something very remarkable which I couldn't stop thinking at night. He said that he has lived all his life in this Amazon. He grew up here. He comes from one of the tribes that lives on the bank of Amazon River. And he says as a young boy of 12, 13, 14, he used to come with his father inside the jungle, often at night, to hunt. And he said never in his life he has been scared to come from the jungle, even at night or any time of day or night. But he said when he goes to the city, he's scared. He said jungles never scare him, because jungles are there to sustain. They give us life, food, shelter, wood, medicine, whatnot. There should not be any chopping of these jungles. They are the life of this planet Earth. And so are these people, the people of the Amazon forest, the tribes. No one knows nature better than them. As I said before, they don't have their degrees from Oxford, Cambridge, or any other university about botany or biology or environmental sciences or geography. But I have witnessed the knowledge they have of nature and Amazon and the botany, the trees and the plants and the herbs and the animal. I've never seen that. I've traveled the world, more than 140 countries. Their education is from University of Nature, Amazon campus. Let's enjoy the bit of the scenery. Mr. Lane told me that there are anacondas under this water. Huh?
Yes.
Yes, he agrees again.
The Negro River, and the Negro River, it's dark, as you can see.
Yeah, it is dark, yeah.
So whatever is there, you never see what is there.
But it doesn't come out of water unless it needs to feed itself.
Yeah.
It looks for whatever it eats.
So we say we don't have the big animals, but we have small animals. For example, we have anaconda is a big
snake, yeah.
Which can meet like, the biggest we ever saw here was like 11 meters.
11 meters?
Yeah.
That's like 35 feet.
And me, since in my whole entire life, the biggest anaconda I saw in this area here was like 6.5 meters.
Mm-hmm.
It was on the, why I could see the size, and I could say that it's like 6.5 meters, because it was on the land. You could see the head to the tail, like from there to there, somewhere over there.
It was lying on the side?
It was on the land. So
on the land.
I could see the whole body. And that was the biggest.
But how many hours does it, the anaconda spend under the water? Most of the times?
Most of the time. Because
most of the time under the water?
It is a water snake.
It's a water snake?
Yeah, it's not a land snake.
It's not a land snake?
We have a land snake, which we call it the boa constrictor.
Boa constrictor. Yeah, that's right. I've heard of that.
Boa constrictor now it's on the land. It's not in the water. And the biggest he can go is like a little bit more than 5 meters.
5 meters.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we do have the anacondas here. We have electric eels.
Electric eels.
Electric
So they give you a shock.
Yeah, when they are like 1 meter, they can produce more than 100 volts. And if they pass 2.5 meters like that, and then they can produce more than 800 volts.
800 volts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have
It's got a current here.
We have the stingray, you know the stingray.
Stingray, yeah.
Yeah, we do have stingray too. And the piranhas.
Piranhas.
Yes. There are
Hell, I'm scared of piranhas.
hundreds of piranhas here.
How big is a piranha in size?
Okay, so we have about 6 species of piranhas now here. We have the small, the silver piranha, then the spotted piranha, and then we have the biggest one is the black piranha, which can meet 3 kilo.
3 kilos.
Yes, like that size, 3 kilo. And he's here.
It's here.
Yeah.
What do piranhas eat normally?
Piranhas, these piranhas we have here, they eat everything.
Eat everything.
From fish to the fruits.
Fruit, everything.
Even fruits they can eat. Well, the good news that here in the Negro River we don't have the red piranhas.
The dangerous one.
The most dangerous piranhas in the Amazon. It's not here because of the acid water.
Oh, it's because of the acidity in the water.
Yeah.
Why is it more dangerous than the other piranhas?
Because they are smaller.
Yeah.
Yes, they are like that size. Yes.
Yeah.
But they have big head and sharp teeth, and
Oh,
they
I
are really attracted to blood or fresh meat. So any animal or any animal, even a cow, they could attack a live cow swimming.
And they'll eat it
They pinch him in pieces.
within like minutes.
Like for example, 100 kilo of meat, they can eat less than 1 hour.
1 kilo of meat.
100 kilo.
100 kilo of meat in?
Less than 1 hour. Big fish there. Big fish just.
It's not a piranha, eh? Scary business.
Yeah, but this is the Amazon, you see.
This is. Yeah.
There is a bird over there, the black and yellow cacique.
Yeah?
Black and yellow cacique. We say cacique because he can imitate more than 20 species of birds.
Oh, he imitates other birds.
Yeah, some people say
Mockingbird. Oh, yeah, I've heard that name, mockingbird. Yeah. That's right. Oh, that's a mockingbird. In English, we say the mockingbird.
Yeah, because he can imitate more than 20 species of birds. Other one they call weaver bird because he can make big nests with his beak.
Yeah.
But his name, so
Yeah.
his name now is the black and yellow cacique.
I see.
You can see now the water color is changing here.
It is changing. How deep is this here, the water?
When we start over there, it was like 6 meters. Now it's like about 3 meters. And more we go deep in the river, it's getting deep in the jungle, it's getting more shallow.
Oh, it's get more shallow.
And you could feel the temperature, you can feel it changing.
I'm just too scared to put my hand in the water.
No, here you can put your hand.
No, man, I don't trust the piranhas, I trust you. Now I'm going to do my... Yeah, I can
You
actually...
don't have the red piranha.
Yeah, you see, I'm not that scared.
You ever heard about the other fish?
So what is more dangerous than the red piranha?
The other little fish. There is another little fish.
What is it called?
It's very small, like that size, and the name is kanjiru.
Kanjiru.
Yes.
Oh.
And kanjiru, they said never you swim in the okay, only in the Amazon River. Never you swim in the Amazon River naked.
Oh.
If you swim naked, he can go up in your tunnel, how I say?
Mouth.
In the mouth of the pee-pee.
Yeah.
Of your penis.
Yeah.
He can go inside and eat you inside.
Ooh.
Don't ever swim naked.
No, I'm not.
Or don't.
No, don't worry, I'm not.
Don't swim naked and don't pee in the water.
Ah, is it?
Yeah.
It doesn't like it, eh?
You follow the pee and going.
Oh, and then goes and attacks you.
It's not here, it's in the Amazon. So here, no problem. You can swim and pee how much you want.
Tree, eh?
All these little trees, soon they will be underwater because they're all water plants. The water go up 10 meters, so all these little trees are covered.
After another 10 meter, it will go.
Yeah.
You get rain throughout the year.
Every day. No, 6 months rain, 6 months dry season. I mean, so even in the dry season, we have rain because the heat of the sun hit the trees, and more hot, more they sweat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we call the rainforest.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's rain all yearly.
All year.
So
It's
we
just
have
that some 6 months it's
rain.
raining more, and 6 months it's less.
Yeah, like
I
now
see.
it's raining every day.
Very important. You know, what you hear from the local Amazon people who were born and bred here is more profound, knowledgeable, interesting, and true than what you read in the books or what you see in the, you know, TV or whatever. This is first-hand information from somebody who was born here and who has spent all his life in these jungles and in these waters. When the animal says something,
Yeah, as I was saying, since I was a child, my parents teach us to listen of the animals, the birds, the frog, because each sound or each animal say something, it means something. It's a message he sent to us, and we need to listen and understand and try to translate it to understand what he's trying to say. Sometimes he's saying, it's going to rain today, or it's going to be hot today, like that, you know. Or more important, to know the date, say the time of the day. Like to listen to the birds, we have from 2 o'clock in the morning, then we have 4 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, like that. Lots of branch. So
that was
when we
just a
listen
branch.
to the animals,
Yeah.
it says something. For example, the frog over there, that's a frog. We call it pepper frog.
Yeah.
And he's saying that, he's happy because it's rained a lot this morning. So he's happy now.
So whatever this frog is croaking now, he's expressing his happiness just because it rained today.
Yes.
And you can pick it up from the way he's saying it.
Yeah.
This is, I have no words. You can judge for yourself. No book can ever teach you this. No video can ever teach you this. It has to be, as I always tell you guys, the local history. When you go with the local people who have grown up here, the way they teach you, no other book, no video, no master can ever teach you. So you have to tell me more what these words are saying.
Yeah. Now that's your daughter. She imitating the frog. So 2 things. He's happy with the rain. You know why he's happy too? Because when the rain fall, the frogs, they don't go in the river to put their eggs. They're happy to have their eggs far away from the river. So when the rain falls, somewhere there are some pool of water. So he will sing very, very nicely to trap the female.
I see.
And when the female listen to him, and she will go and look for him. And they will meet where they will put eggs, and then they will go to this lake. And he said, look, there's a nice little pool of water here where you will put your eggs.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
That is a different bird. That bird, he's saying, you see, they're happy. In Portuguese or in the local language, we say chora chuva. And chora chuva means crying for the rain. It's a opposite, like crying for the rain or happy with the rain. That means it's still going to rain tomorrow morning early. Tomorrow morning there will be raining.
So the bird is saying that tomorrow morning there will be rain again. And that's how you people can, local people who live here can judge when is it going to rain, listening to the birds, the sound of the birds. And does it also for the sound of the animals like monkeys?
Other animals too. There are other animals, all from the insect, the birds, the mammals, monkeys, jaguars, all these animals roaring, all have a meanings. Okay, and now I just want to tell you, and now you are in the jungle. No jaguars screaming or roaring, no birds screaming or no birds singing, no insect. So I say, what will happen? How can we identify ourselves? How can we know the time of the day or the year or the night? Sorry. How you know the time if there is no sound? So we look to the sky, and the sky is there, the stars, the moon, the sun, and that tell you the day, the minute, the year. Sun, moon, and stars.
Sun, moon, and stars. So it's all nature. You either look at the animals, the way they talk, or then you look at the sky and you figure it out from the sun, the moon, and the star. And yeah. And I suppose this is something that no one can teach you.
Generation.
This comes generation, like you must have learnt it from your father.
From my father, from my grandfather, from my great grandfather.
And how does it work? So you go with your father to the jungle, and your father tells you, listen to this sound,
Yes.
and this is what this bird is saying.
Yes, my grandfather. I mean, I didn't had I really had a lot. I had my grandfather. My grandfather, he teaches me more, and I was very happy to be with him because he had many stories to tell because he lived up to his 111 years.
Oh, wow.
The last time I spoke with him, he was 109. So I was very happy and very proud to have a grandfather who lived so long and had so many stories to tell me. So that's why I'm here today, living my dream, doing this job for more than 21 years now.
This is remarkable. You see, guys, this is what I say. No book can teach you this. It's your grandfather or his grandfather. The knowledge of nature gets passed on from generation to generation, and he will pass it on to his children and his children to his children, and that's how this knowledge, this culture is preserved and carried on. And we sincerely hope it. Science can only go that far. Science can never interpret what he did just now, listening to a bird. He said it's going to rain tomorrow. The best meteorologist in the world, the best weather guy in the world cannot make the prediction like the way nature does. The bird spoke and he understood and he explained to me and to you. This is priceless. So the water is getting shallower and narrower as we go deep in the jungle. Yeah, as you can see, it's barely, I would say, 15 feet wide and maybe just 2-3 feet deep. When we started, where we left the boat and we took in the canoe, Mr. Lin told me that it could have been 6 meters, 10 meters, but now it's really shallow. And I'm hoping, and it's quite a technical thing to row this thing, because firstly we're going, as you can see, we're going against the stream of the water. The water is flowing towards us, so we're not going with the stream, and he's maneuvering it without even hitting a single log. I think it's very shallow now. I think the bottom of the canoe is hitting the bed of the river. We might have to turn around, isn't it, Mr. Lin? I think it's very shallow now. So he's making a U-turn now. He's taking a break and then we're going to turn around.
So as I was
So Liam is taking the boat, he's dragging the boat with his hand. So as you can see, the water is shallow, barely comes to his knees. So it's difficult. He says the local, the Amazon tribe people, they have smaller canoes. They can go through these little tributaries, smaller tributaries. These bigger canoes that are now made more for commercial and for touristy uses are cannot go into this. And I can see in front, right? You can see right in front of you. It's very narrow. It's difficult for this big canoe to go in there.
night. So that's why it's really, really important for us to have a canoe to fish, to hunt, like that. It's more important, especially for people who live deep, deep jungle where there is no road. Everything they do is by boat. They go fishing by boat, they go hunt by boat, they go to farm by boat, they go to school by boat. They even go to meet their girlfriends on the boat.
On the boat?
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I have to ask the gentleman this question, and you know why. What is the biggest spider you've ever seen?
The biggest spider I ever seen, and here we call it Goliath spider.
Goliath, the big one, yeah.
Biggest spider.
How big it was it?
You know, it's the plate, like that size. Like the plate, the plate that
Yeah.
you have desert and spice. That was the biggest spider I ever saw. But then we used to hunt them when I was in the tour, eat them.
Eat the Goliath spider.
Yeah, they are like crabs.
Oh, they're like crab. You fry them,
We roast them like
roast them.
roast them.
How does it taste?
Like crab.
Like a crab.
Like crab. Yes. That's
It's got a lot of meat in it because it's so big.
big, yeah. They, they do have poison. I mean, all spiders have poison.
Poison, yeah.
But then some have more, some have less. These big spiders, they're poison only for little animals, like little frog, little birds.
Yeah. It cannot kill a human.
No,
It cannot kill a human.
I got bitten many times.
By the spider.
Yeah, we used to catch them and put in our hands. And I got bitten many times.
And nothing, well, just pain, and nothing happens after
It
that.
pains because look at the claws.
Yes, yeah, those fangs.
And
Yeah.
I mean, the fangs that inside you. And that's pain more than the poison.
Imagine, he used to catch Goliath spider with his hand, got bitten by that spider many times. The fangs went into his hands, and then he would take that spider to home and roast it and eat it. History. The present, and the beauties of survival in Amazon. Just amazing.
Traffic jam.
We've got a bit of a traffic jam. There's just other people canoeing who came in here and got a bit stuck.
Traffic.
Traffic, and we're hitting the rock. Missed it.
You got him doing all the heavy lifting?
I'm having the free ride, He's doing all the hard work. Oh. I'm lucky because I'm obviously sitting with a professional canoeer. I mean, the person who grew up here in these rivers and mountains. So he knows canoeing more than any better canoeer in the world. So he has managed to canoe through these narrow tributaries and without hitting any tree or any side of the road. Other guys who are doing it themselves are struggling. They're like going like, zigzag, hitting this bank, hitting this log, that log. While I'm having probably the easiest and the best ride amongst all of them. Tell me something about, like, now I suppose most of the, or not all, but some of the Amazon indigenous people like yourself are Christians now, right?
Yeah.
Catholics.
Yeah.
But before that, what was your ancestral belief system? Like your grandfather or his grandfather, what did they believe in? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Concept of God and all that.
Look, I am the fourth generation of my great grandfather,
Yeah.
and I always say to when you say indigenous people, it's not like indigenous people in general. For example, today you have indigenous people in Brazil, in South America, America,
Yeah, everywhere.
in everywhere, and myself, when I talk about indigenous people, I like separate them
Yeah.
in three groups. For example, today you have group number 3, for example, is indigenous people who is like me. They live in the city, who already know this different life, where you're supposed to be living in the jungle, for example,
Yeah.
But now I'm living this life with my clothes. I live in the city,
Yeah.
and there are many other indigenous people who live in bigger city, like in Manaus, in São Paulo, and so like that. And they are now learning to studying. Some of them studying to become a teacher, a lawyer, or
Yeah.
public, or no, politics,
Politics. Yeah.
even politics. And the idea is to study and to fight for the rights or to defend the indigenous group number 2. Group number 2, the indigenous people who is now today choose to defend group number 1. For me, who is group number 1? Group number 1, these indigenous people who live deep jungle, who don't have no contact with no modern life yet until today. And they want to live like that. They don't want contact with us. So we have group number 2 is to protect them, or protect we from them and protect them from us. And they are happy to live how they're living since millions of years. And your question is how the indigenous people live.
Like what did they believe in terms
Believe
of
in.
God and
Okay.
whatever?
We indigenous people, my mother, how we live already, I came from like group number 2. We know the modern life, we know the Christian life and things like that. But then my mother or my parents, my grandfathers, for example, they always teach us like never like to talk a lot about our creator. Let me say, we talk about God or use God's names, because God is God. He made all this.
Yeah.
So we believe they teach me or teach us more to believe in this, in nature. Listen to the nature, because you're listening to the nature, as I said at the beginning, listening to the animals, to the insect, to the birds, and so. And who is speaking there for us? Is He? He's the man.
So the God is speaking through nature
Through
to
nature
us.
to us.
God is speaking through nature
Yes.
to us.
So I don't need to change my religious. I need to change all of this to go in the church and say I'm going to listen to Him there, because He's here. He's here. This is God. This is His. I'm touching Him. The plant, the tree, the leaf. I'm breathing Him.
The breathing God, touching God.
You see? So
Listening to all the voices of nature is like listening to God.
Listen to God. So this for us, me today, last month I complete 49 years. And this is my life. And I'm happy with this. I don't need more.
Change. You don't need to change
I
it.
don't need more than this. This is everything I need in my life. I believe a human being need this. He don't need to change. He don't need to more than this. You have this. This is all the most important thing you can have in your life. Nature.
Absolutely. And this is so profound what the gentleman told me. You don't need to look for God by going into the churches or wherever. God is here. He says, around me. I can feel God. I can touch Him. I can smell Him. I can hear Him. I don't need to change anything. I live with God every day of my life. like my forefathers did. God is nature, and we know nature more than anyone else better. So why do we need to change anything? This is very profound lesson for all of us. And these forests where his ancestors came from, are a true manifestation of nature, a gift of nature to us, all of the mankind. And we must learn about it. I must learn about it. You must learn about it. We must come here and see how to interpret the sounds of the nature for us, for our betterment. As we trudge along in this narrow tributary in the river, I have learned something that no professor in the university could ever teach me. Just this 1 hour canoe ride or canoe, whatever you call it, through this river. What I've been taught, what I've been told, is truly baffling for me. Lot to ponder, lot to think about everything. Theology, our understanding of nature, the way we treat nature, what do we expect from nature, what do we give back to nature. It's time to close my eyes and contemplate and think of what he has told me.
They are looking at you.
Yeah, as you said, the tree is looking at us,
Yes,
is listening to us.
yes,
The animals are looking at us, listening to us.
yes.
And as you said, these are the eyes and the ears of the God.
Yes. You're going out tonight for the night tour.
Yeah,
It's very nice.
yeah, I'm going out. Mr. Liano has just dropped me after that canoeing trip through one of the tributaries of the river. You heard him what he said. I heard what he said. You can make out yourself. It was probably 1 hour one of the most soulful journeys for me personally. I learned a lot about nature, the sounds of the nature, what they mean, what is nature, how nature bestows us, how much it gives us, and what do we give in return to nature. There's a lot of soul searching for me to do, to think of what this indigenous man who has lived, who him and his forefathers and his ancestors have lived in this area, the Amazon as we call it now, the rainforest, for millions of years. How the knowledge that has been passed down to him by his ancestors is trying to teach us, the city dwellers, how to respect nature, how to try and understand nature, how many messages nature gives us. In the end, as he was dropping me, it was just around 4:45 or something in the late afternoon, he said, Doc, as in the cities, between 5 and 6 in the late afternoon, early evening, there's a certain pandemonium. The people from the workplaces, offices, factories are in a rush to get back to their homes. Same thing has happened in jungle. There's a certain activity, a certain pandemonium that breaks down at this time. Go in jungle at that time. You will see the giant boa constrictors and the giant spiders and other chupacabras and all other animals crossing the roads, getting on to where they need to be. And he just told me up on the road, I must go there if I want to see the jungle activity. Same like that happens in cities at this time between 5 and 6. It's almost 5 o'clock, maybe I'll go there. And if I record something, I'll share with you. I hope you enjoyed this canoeing trip through the river and all that was taught to me and you. There's a lot to ponder, there's a lot to think, there's a lot to learn. There's more to do. We continue our exploration into the Amazon's forest, the biggest forest in the world, and see what we can get more out of nature for us as human race. Stay with me.